Today we're going to take a high-level overview of fixed assets from Microsoft Dynamics GP. And today I'm using version 2012 Release 2. So if we're looking at fixed assets, you're probably wondering why I'm in the purchasing series. What we're going to do today is enter in an invoice for payables management, and we're going to code it to an account we've set up as a trigger account. This means that whenever something gets coded here in payables, we know an asset needs to be set up in fixed assets. We'll then set the asset up and we'll depreciate that asset. So let's get started now. I'm in the purchasing series under transactions, and I'll do a transaction entry. And I'm going to order a desk. And I'll leave the date set for April 12th, 2017. And I'm going to buy my desk from Advanced Office Systems. Give it an invoice number. Whoops, I got that thing on the keyboard. There you go. And let's say the desk costs $550. I'm going to now go into my distribution account and set it up to fixed asset clearing. This is the account I've established as my trigger account. You could use whatever account you need to use. Let's close out all our posting journals. And now let's go back to the financial series. Now, in the card section, we're going to go to General Assets, and this is where we set up assets. And you can see here's a desk set up already. So I'm going to just clear this out, and I'm going to create a new asset number. We'll call it Asset 26. Now, this sub-account right here is, if I have a desk and a bookshelf that go together, I might want to use the same asset number for both items, but use a different sub-account for each one. So they'll have a unique number, but yet we know they belong together. Another thing you may want to do is if you have 6 items that are exactly the same, like 6 side chairs, you might want to enter each asset in one asset number and then individually put the chairs in as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You could also group them together by master ID. It's another way of combining items with that have something in common. So both ways work. You cannot change the sub, but you can change the master, so you want to think about which is the best option to set up. So I'm going to tab past that, so now I have my number set. And from this drop-down list, I can see a couple different items out here that I've purchased from Advanced Office Systems. And these were both used for the trigger item, so I need to pick the one that I want. This one is the desk that we set up. So I'm going to just tab down, and my description came from the payables transaction description, so I have that in. And now let's select which class it belongs in. You set up the classes the way you need them to be. I'm going to choose furniture and fixtures. And if we take a look at the class, you can see that we just grouped them together by GL accounting numbers and they have common characteristics. And you could also include insurance information if you want. What type of property it is, this is personal, we'll say. What account group we have, and what's the acquisition date. It got the acquisition date from the payables transaction. If I choose, you notice the next fields are not required. I can choose which physical location they belong in. I'm going to choose Atlanta. If I want to give it an asset tag label, and some people will use the same code as the asset ID, or you could use something altogether different. You could use desk if you want to, whichever. Which structure, so which department in our case, that's the way we have it set up, and even which employee, and this looks at the payables record, or employee payroll record, so you can select which employee it belongs to. So now that we have all this set up, I'm just going to simply click on Save. Now I could add further information if I want, by just clicking on the Go To button and selecting certain pieces of information, such as which tax book we want to use. In this case, we're going to use the federal tax book. And you can see right now the net value of the book is $550, and you could even see which depreciation method is set up. Now, as promised, let's go through a depreciation process. Under Routines and Fixed Assets, in this case, I'm just going to depreciate one item, just to make it a little simpler on us. I'll find that item. There's my desk. And I can choose which book I want to use. Now, you could depreciate for all the different books if you want, but you can only select one at a time. And let's select our target date. And I'm going to choose 2017, and I'm going to choose May 30th. And if I want to make it for projection only, I can. And I'm going to choose Depreciate. Great. Now when this gets finished, and it's done now, great. So now we've depreciated it. Let's go back and take a look at our asset. We'll come back up here. Pull up our last asset. Here we go. Here is our desk. Let's go back and look at the book information for federal. And now you can see we've depreciated $14.58. So now we still have $535.42 to go. It's easy to maintain assets and fixed assets, but the most important things that you need to keep in mind is that it gets information from payables, so it makes sure that you set up every asset that needs to be set up, and it also talks back to the general ledger, so you don't have to re-enter any information in. And then you still have full access to all of the information that you need. This is just a high-level overview. If you're not using fixed assets, definitely consider it. I hope this helps. Thanks.